Great, I'd like to open the meeting of the Town of Lunenburg Stormwater Task Force, November 17th, 2022. We're in the Ritter Building and remotely. I'm not going to go through the participant for the Zoom, but we do have a Zoom meeting up and people are happy to join that way. Roll call. See, I'm the chair, Todd Dwyer. We have, it looks like we have Bill Bernard remotely. We have Matt Proctor. We have John Beal, Richard Tremblay. We have Danielle taking minutes. We have the land use director, Adam Birney, and then we have one more person on the phone, Janine's iPhone. Can you unmute yourself and identify who you are? Or not, that's fine. Is there any public comment? Seeing none, we'll move on. Are there any updates from the task force members tonight?
No updates here.
Seeing none, asset management grant updates.
I don't have an update on that. I don't know if it's kicked off with you and CEI yet, Bill. I know that they were finalizing the paperwork to go to the state, and I believe the contract was going back and forth, but I don't know that there's been any other movement.
Nope, they have not reached out to me.
So I think we're still in the contracting phase, and I would
Alright.
expect it'll be beginning of next year that we really get underway.
Okay, ongoing items.
I can touch on a couple of those. The contract with CEI includes an exploration of a stormwater enterprise fund. You'll hear me say that. I'm going to avoid saying utility because people get worried about buildings and whatnot. CEI reached out to the town manager, the stormwater task force at the end of last year in the spring voted to have CEI progress with that. The funds were encumbered. They have begun preliminarily looking at it, and they inquired with the town manager about continuing that, and she gave them authorization to do so with the funds that are encumbered and the contract for this year, as the task force was interested in that. So I expect we'll start to see some of the bones of that, which will be mapping work and probably explanation and examples of how other communities are doing funds structures. One of the key things, and I know Bill is probably doing this as much as he can on top of all of the other things that he is stuck doing, is tracking expenses and how that time gets spent. And I think it'll be, 12 or 16 months before that really is able to go back into how we assess fees and what those fees actually look like. But looking at structurally and policy wise, how that gets done will make, when there's numbers available, everything a little bit easier to plug in.
Okay.
The other thing, and I know that this isn't specifically a stormwater task force issue, but I will bring it up since we had some folks from the public at the last meeting about this, is the Flat Hill Road project. Bill and myself, the town manager, one of the trustees for the village at Flat Hill, and Brian Marchetti of McCarty Engineering had a meeting to review the study that McCarty did on the drainage system at Flat Hill, specifically the detention basin at the south intersection of Cortlandt Circle and Flat Hill Road. He indicated there are some structural deficiencies, I guess, in the outlet structure from lack of maintenance. He feels the pond has probably filled up some and could use a significant bottom cleaning. And he recommended that they look at cammering and or cleaning the catch basins and piping system throughout that development. This is all
so that helps manage some of the water that's coming.
That's the
through.
intent, is to create more capacity in the basin.
Yeah.
In order to look at reducing the speed at which the water comes out.
Yeah.
And what the heart of the issue, I think, is that it was designed in the mid-90s before there were stormwater management requirements
Mhm.
that included volume. So the peak rate is mitigated, but the volume of water coming off isn't. So you get a slower trickle of water for a longer period of time, which doesn't mean that it's gonna infiltrate groundwater as
Right.
high. So there's just a lot of there's a lot of contributing factors. And the trustees.
So it's his thought that because the volume is exceeding the capacity, the infiltration rate, that's exacerbating it's causing a backup of water, which is then sheet flowing over the roadway and.
No, I mean, I think the problem is the capacity is about this much of it.
Yeah.
The issue is that there was never a volumetric reduction. And so it's a problem that existed when that was a hayfield, which was exacerbated because there's now there's more volume coming off the site. So while it's not coming any faster, there's more of it. And there was never a mitigation strategy for the amount of water. That, in conjunction with rising groundwater levels, have just completely eliminated infiltration ability in the way that we would look at it today. So he wants to start with that, and he has some other thoughts about where to move and distribute that water. I don't know that those are fully flushed out yet, but so it's an ongoing issue. It's our issue in so much as it's Flat Hill Road. And I think the trustees are concerned that we're trying to pin it wholly on the village. And I don't think that's the case. I think they're just a contributing factor, and it's a matter of them. And there isn't a maintenance requirement either, which is.
Well,
part
I
of the
mean. Yes, it may be a maintenance problem.
It may be, but.
I mean, I think we can say if there was never a development there,
Mhm.
then they wouldn't be having a problem. How much of the development. On the stormwater infrastructure is not handled? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of factors.
Yes.
Did I get most of what we talked about at that meeting, Bill?
Yeah, and we basically asked them to clean up the basin. It's full of all kinds of plants and sediment, and it does need a cleaning. We don't know if the sub drains are working. I know the outlet structure's not working right, so it's a start.
Yeah, and I think,
It's a very complicated
Yeah.
area because you look at it and you wouldn't expect drainage to occur the way it is, and the volume you're seeing, it's essentially we're at the top of the hill and we're seeing all this water come up, and it's puzzling.
I think there's a perched water table there,
Yeah.
which is what's just continuing to be problematic.
Yep.
And I think they never had a sediment forebay in the basin, which again, I think is probably what caused a lot of the basin filling.
Okay.
So
Very
those
good.
are my ongoing item updates.
Does anyone have any items for the next meeting that they want to touch on? So one of the things that now that you're settling into your position, Bill, that that I'd like you to start, if you haven't already, is trying to wrap your develop an understanding, wrap your brain around, just how much effort the DPW was putting into, your stormwater taps on a weekly to monthly basis. And start tracking that. And if you can start tracking that, the next meeting we have, maybe sharing some of that initial data and what you think. And I think from we're not looking to get too far down in the weeds. We're just looking for some gross numbers and, what your man hour averages over the course of a few weeks, and want to see how it trends through the year. I mean, obviously in the winter, a lot of those things may be reduced, but spring through fall, you'll probably have a fair number of man hours that can contribute to it. So if you can start on that and give us an update the next meeting on where you are, and that would be fantastic.
Yeah, so I've started a spreadsheet. And I captured some of the bigger work we've done.
Yep.
Some of the little day-to-day stuff I haven't captured. I'll try to do a little better job with that, but like Adam said, it's tough. There's a lot on my plates, but I can capture some of it.
There's definitely a lot to do, and any effort you can put into that, I think would be very helpful. Because that can inform, that data can help inform the work that CEI does in the development of the enterprise fund and that sort of thing as well.
Yep.
So next meeting date, typically we have it on the third Thursday, which would be the 15th of December. December is obviously a holiday month. I don't know how the members feel about having the meeting in December, or if we'd like to push it off and just skip December and go to January.
Yeah, I think I'd be before that, and if we can probably, I don't miss one. Yeah,
I would not object to it if we skipped December.
All right,
and
then,
then I think it'll give time for a little bit more energy to build up for a meeting,
exactly. All right,
It's 7:12 and we're already ready to wrap up, I think.
right. So that would put us at January 19th will be the date of the next meeting. If members have some items they want to add to the agenda in the interim, please email me as well as Adam. Has everyone been able to, everyone should be transferred to the new email system, correct?
They should be, yes.
If you haven't done that, it's really not that painful. It was actually easier for me to migrate that. I use Outlook at
Yeah.
work, and if you're already using Outlook, it's just another account in your Outlook application, and it's really pretty straightforward. It takes about 5 minutes.
And if you haven't seen it, you didn't get anything from the IT department, shoot me an email and I'll get you in touch with them to have them pass along your address and password and all that fun
I
stuff.
don't ever see any noise.
Okay.
We gotta talk about number 3 on the agenda, just table that too.
Oh, yeah, actually skipped over that thing. Thank you, Richard. So meeting minutes, we have a whole slew of meeting minutes to go over. Danielle was nice enough to email them back out today. I did not have any comments on the minutes, but I'm sure that the members haven't had a chance to review all of them. I asked that we should have the minutes for tonight probably prepared. So for the meeting in January, let's make sure everyone's prepared to send any comments in the interim if you have comments on the minutes.
And I'll forward that email around. I'll take the hit on that. She did send them, I saw them, and I just inferred that she had sent them to everybody, but I don't know why she would have, because she doesn't have everybody's email address.
Right.
Sorry.
No, that's,
So
again, it's my own fault.
So we'll make sure we approve those minutes and get caught up on the next meeting. There's no one from the public here. We can skip over public comment. Any additional member comment tonight? Seeing none, I'd like to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving and holiday season, and I will accept the motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion a second, all in favor? Aye. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Bill.
You're
Thanks,
welcome.
Bill. Have a good night.
You too.